What's good with it? Lucky Lefty Podcast, Onora Boys, back in the building. We're brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, Left, you might as well continue to do it
responsibly.
Let's get it. What's good, LL Nation? Lucky Lefty Podcast. Locked in, believe network, believe in Notre Dame, believe in LL, believe in yourself. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us. It helps with the views, of course. And then leave your comments and questions because we indeed respond to all. We are the home of the misguided passion, and we are forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. How you feeling today, Left?
Doing good. Just another day, another dollar. The summer's coming fast, so you know it is because it's getting hot out here. But it's all good.
Man, it's clip. Is it trip dig? It's triple digits out there?
Oh no, it ain't that yet, but it's warm. It's warm.
It said it's not that yet. The expectation is real. Well, right here, dude, we're just happy to get up to high 70s, low 80s, bro.
Oh wow, that's perfect. That's
for us, it doesn't take much. Once it hits 50, the grills come out.
The grills come out?
Yeah, we start barbecue. At 50 degrees, we start barbecuing.
Not at 50.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what's so amazing? Let's talk about the flip side of this. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We have those two clips. We didn't get to them yesterday because the conversation surrounding the hate on Notre Dame. And we're going to get to that because Joe Klatt lost his mind. He lost his ever-loving mind. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. We're going to talk about Joe Klatt today. Get it together, man. Relax. It is what it is. It is what it is. And stop trying to get this fake narrative that equality needs to exist in college football when it's never existed. It doesn't exist now, and it never will exist. It's been about greed for a long time.
Yeah.
It's really never been about the kids. Not since like the early days of college football. Once radio, TV, and revenue came into play, let's stop. We'll talk about that. We'll have those two clips of Marcus Freeman from the spring. Marcus Freeman met with the media today. So we're going to talk about 3 to 4 bullet points that stood out to us that made us feel very confident about Marcus Freeman's development as a head coach, aside the development of the football team. And so we're going to get to that. But Left, let me tell you something. Going back and forth to LA the last 4 to 5 years, I am amazed. Because in Chicago, if it's 50, that's hoodie weather. Dude, that's hoodie weather. 50 in LA, people have on hooded coats, furs. It's crazy. Like, they can't take it. Anything in the 40s and 50s out west, they're like, oh my God. It's almost like being almost close to 10 degrees here in Chicago. The effect on their minds. It's absolutely crazy. Like for the longest, I didn't understand my cousins growing up in the South. If they had any precipitation, any snowfall, school was closed. And I'm up here walking to school through like 6 inches, right? 6, 7 inches, right? So it's crazy. But the infrastructure, especially in Atlanta, all of their roads cannot take salt. So once the precipitation hits, they're putting sand, maybe sand. So the salt trucks don't exist down south, bro. So for that reason, schools are shut down, businesses are shut down. It's absolutely crazy. The inverse of that, like how the cold for people in warm areas is right around 40, 50. And then once it gets to 40, 50 in the Midwest, oh, we're outside.
Yeah, we're outside.
We're outside. That might as well be a 70-degree day. Absolutely. Lucky Lefty podcast. So what should we continue? Should we continue the discussion? No. We'll save Joe Platt for the back end of the show.
Okay.
Marcus Freeman left. And we let me tell you something, man. I was very pleased because we said on this show that what we wanted to see, and you spoke from your experience that summer of 2015, that it was a player-driven summer, and the coaches didn't have to tell you guys anything. You guys had an expectation and knew how good you guys could be.
Right.
And from the time you guys got out of spring ball to the first snap of small ball, it was all about you guys creating that mindset. And then you guys got the fall ball and just took off.
Yeah.
Because the continuity was like, it wasn't like you guys had to rev up. You guys had been doing that. So you hit the ground running. And I said, I want to see that. I want to see if this team had that type of leadership. And so, you know, we'll wait to see if that's the case. But hearing Marcus Freeman talk today, I think the first thing that stood out is that he spoke about January the 20th, bro. And when he spoke, I loved hearing the pain. He said, when I think back to the season, it's completely different. When I think back to that game and that night, painful, disappointing, underachieved. Those are the things I think about. I wish we could go back and let's do it one more time. We didn't play our best when our best was needed, and the outcome's the outcome. But that's different than when I think about the entire season. I think about the journeys completely different. That's a selfish answer. That's what I feel. Grateful for the seniors, grateful for the guys who that was their last game. Appreciative of those guys and their sacrifice. But selfishly, that's how I feel when I think about that game. That right there got my juices. Hey, I started getting fired up. Like, okay, if that dude is unsatisfied, he said we underachieved in that game, bro. Underachieved. This is a coach right now that could have settled in and allowed their game to settle in and said, you know what? We didn't have our best defensive player. We had guys down. Jeremiah was hurt. He has every reason, and the Notre Dame fans wouldn't even be mad. Notre Dame fans would not be mad. He had every reason and has every reason to throw every excuse out there, bro.
Yeah.
This dude is like, nope. We had enough. We had enough, and we didn't play well enough. It's almost like he's taking it personally. And from what I heard up until he spoke today, he has been walking around the Goog and campus a little honorary, if you will. A little honorary. Like he is really carrying that loss in the national championship game. But see, this is my question to you. Is he carrying it because it's Ohio State? Is he carrying it like that because it's Ohio State and he just can't seem to get over the hump with Ohio State? Is he carrying it because he really believed that they were the better team? Or is he carrying it because he knew if I can sneak this one this year, I already know what I got coming next year. It's a possibility I can go back to back. What do you think are the reasons why he's still irritated, appreciative of the journey, like he said, but still very much in a bad mood when it comes to January 20th and the results?
I think some of it is due to the fact that he used to be a player. And, that expectation being that he played at Ohio State himself, but the expectation of winning at a high level and achieving that goal that seems to be so fleeting for a Notre Dame school that's, you would think that the prestige that it carries, we would have been there and a lot more appearances making it happen. So some of that is probably an athlete thing. Nobody's a good loser. I haven't seen one of those, but then also it's just a lot that goes into it. He's an Ohio kid, went to Ohio State, perfect storyline. If you're going to win a national championship against anybody, it's the team to do it. And then the team that you got is the team to win it with. I mean, it's just, you can't ask for a more perfect situation if you're Marcus Freeman, just being in his shoes and knowing where he's coming from. That's the same as for me. I went to Notre Dame specifically hoping that I would get a chance, like in the Fiesta Bowl, to play against Ohio State for all the marbles, being from Ohio State. So if on that aspect, I feel like I can relate to Marcus Freeman in that stance. I think the weight of everybody doubting him, they wanted to fire him in the first couple of weeks of being at school. They wanted to fire him the first time he lost in that incredible game to Stanford and to Marshall and to NIU. And he's like, man, I wanted a chance to show everybody. Yeah, I can win the big one. Y'all waited all this time, and I did it in 3 years. Y'all waited all this time. I done built the program up to win a national championship in 3 years. First championship ever in a playoff style. Did it with the circumstances that we were faced with, not only in recruitment, but in the playoff standings. Nobody has ever gotten this far as a head coach in terms of length of season. We had to play 16 games. I mean, the precedent set forward for Marcus Freeman if he was to win it. I mean, everything is at your fingertips. There's nothing that you couldn't do. And to fall just short, 11 points short, knowing what you've been through all season, knowing that you don't have all the guys that you started out the season with, knowing all the circumstances surrounding the perception, the perspective of recruiting. I mean, it built to a point. This is one of the peaks when you talk about peaks and valleys of a coach's career. 100% a peak moment in Marcus Freeman's young head coaching career. I believe the journey that he's been through so far has been just so great. Losing that national championship probably weighed pretty heavy on him. Still does. I mean, it was Jim Tressel, his mentors, old school. I mean, the connections and narratives and storylines that you can create between Marcus Freeman and this Notre Dame team winning national championship this year against who it was, beating a Georgia, beating a Penn State, having a first home playoff game. I mean, everything was the first. Questionably one of the greatest defenses in Notre Dame history. If we were to win it, I do think Ben Morrison would have got drafted higher. Xavier Watts would have got, just the effect of winning it. If we won it, maybe Marcus Freeman and Jeremiah Love be on a little closer to the front of the college football cover. Jeremiah Smith, I had to step back. So I do think it's one of those things where it was so much that could have been achieved where you get to that climax point of a season, of a career. Marcus Freeman was having an all-time great year, season, everything included, and just winning it would have been bigger than the icing on the cake. That would have been the top of the muffin. You only eat the top of the muffin, because the best part. That was the top of the muffin and the icing. So I still think about it, and I didn't even play. I was heckling all the Ohio State fans. I'm deeply upset. One, because me and Marcus Freeman probably believe we could have won. A couple things go shake right our way. We don't give up that crazy touchdown or two. make a few more tackles. Marcus Freeman probably feels like that was a game that he was an outer body experience. Oh, we could have won that one. What's going? I'm watching this from the sky high view. Like, dang, we. So I think that speaks to his being an athlete. He can fit all perspectives in the arena. He was in the shoes of the player. He was in the shoes of the assistant coach, in the shoes of the head coach. Probably know a little bit about the ball boys. Know about the mentality on big downs and big games against big teams and big moments. He been in the shoes. So he's like, I have taken the experience from everything. I'm feeling everything. Even the confetti. Oh, that's the worst. That's the biggest rub it in your face thing in any championship game. The overuse of confetti, of the other team's colors. That red and gray wasn't for him. He probably looking up like, oh my God, I think it's so deep. If I was losing that championship, that would make me the most mad is watching all that confetti. And then you get all the criers, you get all the dudes that want to be the last on the field watching it. I'm going to the locker room. I ain't even gonna waste no time. I might not even shake your hand. National championship game? Man, save it. I'm on the bus. Glasses on. Hoodie over my head. Don't talk to me. Let's get out of here. Let's get some Whataburger, Ain't no steak and lobster today. So Marcus Freeman, man, I think just what it would mean. What it would mean for Marcus Freeman to win it. You put your names in the likes of the Lou Holtz and the greats of the greats of the greats. By winning it. It's one because that's a different club. Like LeBron James in a different room. It's a different room, area of classification that y'all may share experiences, but you ain't got that one. Marcus Freeman can't get to that floor. It's 14 floors. He can't get to 14. He can get all the way up to 13 and maybe the stairwell. But he can't get into it because you got to win. And they're going to say no matter how great a season you had, look, we won it. So we up here. And that as a coach, especially at Notre Dame, that's that ultimate room. That's the room that nothing else matters. Just like Florida had to put that basketball national championship in the basement. Because they was like, man, but they hated to win that. But at the SEC, there's an upper room. At Notre Dame, there's a specific golden room, probably in the Golden Dome area, where only championship people can be in. Brian Kelly can't go in there. Brian Kelly can walk everywhere around that campus as the winningest head coach. He's got the keys to every door except the one that matters. That's what that means. That's what we talking about here. We talking about being on a Marcus Freeman questionably could have been on a Mount Rushmore of Notre Dame coaches. Being the first pioneer, like Admiral Byrd, to cross over in the great Antarctica. Never been done before. No coach has ever traveled 16 games through a national championship, a playoff style of competition, 2 different seasons, lose 1 game in a regular season. Nobody's done that. But you get close, but no cigar. They ain't gonna give you credit for getting close. I'm just telling you now, especially not Notre Dame, because they pumping 88 because 88.
We don't. Notre Dame doesn't do the Kirk Cousins thing.
Oh no! They're gonna be like, it was all fun, but you ain't win it. Back up, get up, back up. Go back to start. Go back to go collect your 200. We ain't giving you no parades around here for getting close. So that's that sting. Notre Dame adds that passive aggressive sting to it. They all on your side, but they give you the side eye, be like, but you ain't win it though. You think Marcus Freeman's not walking through the hall seeing that? They love him. They looking at him like, he's another Kelly. Coach Kelly felt that after 12, that changed Coach Kelly forever. He wasn't the same coach. He got super lazy after that. She said, man, if I can't. He got so close. You know what defeated him? That halftime speech in the national championship game where he said, well, we just going to come out and see what we can do. It was.
You know what, Left? I never looked at it like that.
He was never going to be back there.
Alabama broke him as a head coach?
Broke him. I mean, look at his patterns after.
That might go down as the worst halftime speech in a national championship game. Now that you bring it back to my remembrance.
Oh, it was over.
We're just going to go out here and see what we can do.
We have taken at that time, what he thought the best Notre Dame storyline. You couldn't draw up a better movie. The man tie, the killing the kid dying at practice, all those, the suspensions it was crazy. Coach Kelly thought he figured it out until he realized in that championship game that he wasn't even close. I mean, that team was just nowhere.
See, that's a different feeling than January 20th. That's a great point. That's a great point, Left. Gosh, doggy, you just made a hell of a point, Left. Because the feeling walking off the field January 20th, 2025 is totally different.
Totally different.
Than walking off the field
in
January 2012.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that's what the best look like. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. we can't. We were so far from the best. We thought we was okay. We got a chance. That game literally proved we were so far from that next level. It broke Brian Kelly. I mean, he was like, "What is? I'm not about to go recruit if we not gonna get those dudes." That's how you win. You got to get those dudes, and then that's when you start hearing, "Oh, we can't get the guys. Oh, it's too hard to get." Because he done ran up against it. He was like, "Oh, I can recruit my tail off. We can develop all these players. We ain't got a Chris Quandro. We ain't got an Eddie Lacy, Amari Cooper. Our best players were looking like they would need, but they wasn't even there. You talking about man time? He wasn't the same after that game. 15, 20 years later, he's traveling around talking about, the team lost. No, you lost it. No, let's not forget. If Manti Te'o was a part of the community, they would have been putting it on him like he was LeBron James. Oh, you disappeared. Oh, you wasn't never that good. We let him slide because he's a Hawaiian sensation. But if we were being critical for the level in which you was sitting in the Heisman room and all,
he be getting that Ant-Man talk today on.
Oh, he getting that Ant-Man talk.
Oh, he be getting that Ant-Man talk.
What they call Ant-Man, the Cat Man?
Right.
Calling the man the Cat Man. Oh. So, that was I think 2025 though. Marcus Freeman was like, okay, we deserve to be here. We are clearly the top two teams. But okay, I'm a quarterback away. I'm a couple calls here, couple plays made here away. That's a different feeling. That's that Clemson after that first loss to Alabama feeling. Deshaun had about 400, 500 yards.
That's a great comparison. Clemson walked off that field and was like, "Oh, we got y'all. We got y'all." And Nick Saban walked off that field and was like, got away with one. Yeah. You're right, Left.
He didn't even really smile when he held up the trophy. He's like, "Oh, they was about
I'm glad that onside kick worked. I'm glad it worked."
Nick Saban was like, I had to reach in my bag for that one. It wasn't 2012. It wasn't no, because the 2012 they gassed it too. They whooping us 42 to something, and they yelling at each other on offense. Like, all right, y'all won. What you overdoing it for? Y'all getting mad at each other because y'all can't snap the ball. It's like, dude, y'all beating us 42-12. We ain't even over here. Y'all calling timeouts, talking about timeout. We about to get a delay a game. Okay, you can't just take the 5. You whooping us. This one was 2025 was clutch. It was like, okay, we got cover 0. It's 1-on-1. Y'all best player versus our best player. Who gonna win? I take that 5 million times before I'm watching Eddie Lacy run right through the defense. So there's levels to it. And I think Marcus Freeman's on the greater side of just get us back there. Just get me back there. But he don't got the quarterback. Which is the anomaly in the equation. Because we don't got a Deshaun where we can just see in the future.
It's the unknown. The quarterback is the unknown.
Deshaun had 500 yards that first game. We said, okay, he's clearly the best quarterback. So he's going to be, and he did that to that defense. Oh, he's going to be back.
I just had to throw this in because it's still the most incredible thing in the world to me. Alabama built their entire offseason. They won. And they built their entire offseason off of, we're going to see Deshaun Watson again, and next time we're going to punish him. Go watch the first quarter of that second game. They hit him, they helicoptered him, and he still put up 450. And it was like
another 400.
Didn't change the thing. So, yeah, having that type of quarterback is a little bit different than what Clemson walked off the field with, because you're not bringing that guy back. But still in all, love what I heard. Absolutely loved what I heard.
Yeah, he's not going to be he's not going to be those guys where they're like, oh, well, it's a new season, new us. Like, no, he's like, we're going to let that sit and simmer. That's going to be the building block off of next year. Even for the guys that wasn't here, they're going to feel how that closeness and what we got to do to get 1 inch or 1 play better. And that has to exist because you can't, that's the same thing. You take these tests, you got 4 chances to take, you got to take them one after the other. If you wait, you're going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose. If you're not talking about it. So first day, I'm turning the game on. This is where we left off at. 11 points short. We will watch this until we are understanding that that's who we can be. In a national championship, first time. Then I'll play the Georgia game the next day. We did this. They were talking about Kirby and the defense and all this other stuff. We whooped them. Now what? We can be like this. So Marcus Freeman's got the right idea. I think he can have that perspective because he played. When you've been a great athlete, you know how to use losses as motivations for next year in a different way than a coach does. The coach got to be the mellow tone, we got to focus on today. We got to get the program restarted, all that. Marcus Freeman's like, I'm a player. He's got that attitude like you at the Y and you lose a game and pick up. You're like, you searching for your next 5. You're like, nah, I can't leave the gym. I got to get my little run in. Like he's got that competitive relentlessness, and I think that's only going to propel him to go harder. Like we saw the change. I mean, we immediately saw the changes being made after the game in the early offseason. You pick up another safety because you're losing Xavier Watts, and a good one at that. You pick up a nickel. You pick up some D linemen ASAP. The big kind, the guys that we were complaining and crying about all year, that you did that off the rip. You went and got Malachi Fields from Virginia. You addressed the receipt right away, to where we all said, "Oh, you must have been listening to the fan base and everybody talking about the clear differences of what we need to." I mean, he was right on it. Recruiting got stronger. We evaluating the quarterback room a little different. We're highlighting the quarterback room a little different. We're like, Gino, hey, knocking on his door. Hey, wake up. You've been asleep for about 2 years. It's time to get rolling. You know, you got you a GM and professionalized your front office because you didn't see what $20 million can do. You can buy your way to a championship, but we got to do it in a way where we got to get the right players. We're going to shell out a couple dollars here and there. I'm sure Marcus Freeman's been nudging Pete Ravakwa. Pete Ravakwa knows how money works in entertainment and TV and all of that. So I don't still think we'll ever be shelling out the most money. We I'm sure we persuaded Leonard Moore away from a big $1 million deal from Oregon. I'm sure we had conversation. Probably said, "Hey, I know you got that nice package in them Nike shoes, but listen, that pot of gold is real. You know, we can dip into that pot of gold and match or do better. Don't even trip. Money is not a lack over here. So them $4 million is cool, but we got that pot of gold. So that's the one thing that I think is so interesting about Notre Dame is that the greatest strength that everybody else is using, we got the most of it. We don't even use it like that. We got what everybody is out here crying and begging for in these press conferences and these head coaches is bargaining and pleading and wishing and hoping for the alumni base to raise that money. I don't ever remember Marcus Freeman going up there saying, "Hey, we need a strong collective to get these kids in here." USC did it. Alabama did it. Hell. But you ain't never seen Marcus Freeman up there begging for no money. Unless you can find the clip. Marcus Freeman has never sat there and had to publicly fundraise in a press conference. Now that's how you know.
Nick Saban was out there politicking every post game.
They said, "We're gonna talk about football, you fundraising." You over here talking about the importance of keeping that bag strong.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to hear Marcus Freeman talk about the bag at Notre Dame.
Oh, I'm glad you threw me the oop today? You said, well, wait a minute. Oh no, let me reverse that fella real quick. That cat left. Usually I'm podcast PG, ladies and gents. Left just threw me the oop because Marcus Freeman talked about NIL at Notre Dame today. And so let me set the table. We just talked about him, how he felt about January 20th, moving forward, still holding on to it. Yo, Lucky Lefty podcast, we spin it different. So Marcus Freeman, while he was talking to the media, explained that this was a totally different offseason for him.
Yeah.
We'll wait until tomorrow to break down what he means, Left. He said, "I took more time self-scouting my team and self-scouting with my coaches. For the first time, he only had one new coach he had to bring in. Everybody else had been there. So there was continuity in the offseason. So he said the self-scouting, even with the coaches and of the coaches in the program, was on a different level for me this offseason. Trying to figure out how we can get ahead of the curve. I'm not trying to be with the curve or with the trends. I'm trying to get in front of the trends. See, I love when somebody talks like that.
That's right.
You know, I love when you talk like that. So basically, he said the PJ
sound like Steve Jobs or something.
He said the PJ has been on the runway. He said all of those, things over the, spring and jumping on the plane and taking trips and speaking and all that stuff. No, I had to slide that. I had to move that to the side. I spent time here. He said I was on the phone more than I was on the PJ. And he spent a lot of time talking to NFL coaches and NFL execs because he felt like the direction of college football is trending towards NFL model. And this is what he said. There's still a lot of similarities between what college football is becoming and the NFL. I still think culture wins in the NFL. I do think as you look at some of the successful franchises or organizations in the NFL, there's still culture. And so, because they're making money, that has no difference in the culture you are creating in the building. The money you make is the money you make. When you walk into our building, the culture is what you should feel. The culture is what is demanded around here. And that's how we operate around here. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You're not treated that way. You're not treated any different. No matter if you're making more money than the person, than this person, or if your role is bigger than this person, you're treated the way you go about your business. And I think that's important. So that's what I believe in. I can tell you what our culture is. It's what they feel. It's what you feel when you're in this building. And what you feel is going to be determined not on what money you make. Freeman also put that off-season focus back on the table once again with those comments, bro. He is not satisfied. He is not satisfied. And in this ever-evolving landscape of college football, Marcus Freeman is putting it out there. I think he's talking to his team too, because you just talked about a couple of dudes that just got a little bit of increase this offseason. He's talking to people. Don't get that big head. The coach, you got that because you play in this culture. Don't get it twisted. In this culture, grand scheme is why Notre Dame is able to be successful. Notre Dame has its own culture, its own football culture that's unmatched, its own football brotherhood that's unmatched, its own network for its football players that is unmatched. And that's what people don't get. That's because their players only see one part of the campus, and that's the football part. They have no connection to anything else. Notre Dame is just different.
It's different.
It's just different. And if you can't relate, then that's fine. If you want to hate, that's fine as well. Just don't think it's strange when Notre Dame celebrates. That's it. Just don't think it's strange. So for Marcus Freeman, NIL really for him has no effect on how he's building his program because the culture is in front of the money. And yo, I don't care if you're making $10 million a game. I'm gonna cuss you out just to say I'm gonna talk to you the way I talk to the same dude that's on the scout team. I'm gonna coach everybody just as hard. Now we know they always say there's always in coaching, you have to know how to subtly grant certain things to big time players. That's the narrative that's always been told.
Yep.
For years, right? Your star players get preferential treatment.
And that's fine with me.
That's fine with you, Left?
It's fine with me.
Say if you're putting up the numbers, you're all good.
Your child, because everybody got favorites.
Facts. That's true.
You know,
that's
ain't
facts.
nothing. And it's if anything, it's a little motivation for other guys to do better.
Yes. Yes. I'm my mom's favorite.
Oh, you really?
My mom's favorite. I'm the firstborn. I'm absolutely no. Everybody kind of. It's kind of insinuated by all of the other siblings. Like, dude,
they be hating on you, SD, man.
Yeah, I'm not literally. I know it, so I can literally get away with anything right in front of her. Like I'll just mess with my sisters and just like put them in headlocks right in front of her. And they'll be like, "Mom, don't you see this?" And she'll be like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh, no.
And then my baby brother, and she's my baby sister, twin sister by like a minute. Those are his two favorites. Wow. So, But like you said, it's always a narrative, regardless, but it's always a narrative that goes around, whether it's families or locker rooms of who are the favorites, who get the preferential treatment. But Marcus Freeman's talking cash money when it comes to this NIL. He's like, yo, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone makes. Our culture is what leads the way around here. Once again, just showing you. But what are your thoughts about him talking to Nick Sirianni? That's one of the coaches he named that he has spoken to, talking to NFL execs and really trying to wrap his mind around preparation, analytics, not just during games, but how do you prepare for the playoffs? That's what I love, because he's like, yo, I have to start preparing my program for NFL playoff type preparation, and talking to the Super Bowl champs who have been to the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years and winning one. I
As an
think that
Eagle,
just shows, yeah.
but I do think that for Marcus Freeman, he talked to the right fit as well. Philadelphia is a very physical team, defensive oriented, defensive built, quarterback that can win your games, not lose your games, solid run game. We're built very similar to the Philadelphia Eagles in ideology, but also in how the team is structured, defensively led with a good run game. The thing that they did to win, they threw the ball a little bit more. So maybe that's something, incorporating some of that, but not losing the physicality, maybe some of the conversations that they've had, being in that mindset of winning a championship and the necessary things that you do leading up to games in the playoffs from a recovery or a mental or a practice standpoint. Do you tone it down? Do you speed it up? Do you get it in different times? How do you create longevity within a program to make it through the playoffs? I think it's something they're probably discussing a lot about. And just the mindset and how do you continue to provide motivation through a 16-game season. Guys, like Marcus Freeman in the first game of the season, no problem. No problem. You out there in the front yelling, screaming, 120,000 first game of the year. You got all the juice. But dang, it's week 9. You playing Virginia. Sheesh. It's week 12. You playing Indiana. What do you say now? How does it change? How do you ride the ebbs and flows of a championship year? How do you know when you feel it? I think that's one of the things that Marcus Freeman probably got the most, which is why he talks about not letting go so much of the championship game, is because that feeling that the Eagles had when they lost. How do you keep that momentum? Well, we never forgot about it. Marcus Freeman's like, you're right. If I don't forget about it, there's no way I don't go change it the next time. So Marcus Freeman, the one thing he's always going to do is always going to cross his T's and dot his I's and check his boxes. Okay, how do you not lose momentum? Well, talk to a Super Bowl champion. Well, focus on self-scouting. Well, get the immediate recruited players for the positions that you were missing last year. Specifically missing that last game. Couldn't get no sacks. All right, we can get 8 interior D linemen. 8 interior D linemen. Replace that secondary a little bit. Get these linebackers going. Boom. Oh, we need a quarterback situation. We got that figured out. We got 2-3 guys capable. Boom.
It's interesting. One of the things he said to the media is that game gave me more answers about the program than questions.
Obviously, because we wasn't tested anywhere else. I mean, we took us 16 games to be like, well, it didn't take us 16 games. It took us about 5 to be like, this is going to be our problem when we run into the answer. We just didn't get our problem solved until we got to the end where the team could answer it. It wasn't like it was. I hope Marcus Freeman didn't think that we were fine until that game. Like, no, we knew what we were going to, our Achilles heel was, and Ohio State just happened to be the perfectly equipped team to get our Achilles heel. I'm talking about that was our kryptonite. they could score and they could play a little bit better defense than everybody else. Everybody else was one-sided. Penn State was kind of even, but not so much because their offense was atrocious. That game.
No, that quarterback was trash.
Oh, trash.
The running game, and Tyler Warren.
I mean, Tyler Warren couldn't do wrong in that game. I mean, he was open every time, every big down. I'm like, damn, this dude came to play. Jesus. Like, he gonna get his. But it's one of those things where, we always had the issue before the season started. We just didn't run against a team that was capable to do it until the end. So, of course, you have all the answers because that's the test right there. What you going to look at Virginia and pick out what you didn't know? NIU, I wouldn't even look at NIU. That's more of a forget that game even happened type of deal. Like, you would never turn that NIU clip on and get anything from that, even though it was a loss. It was like, this is bad football. The loss at Ohio State was, okay, I can break this down, take something from. Now, you can take something from everything. But if I'm Mark, I ain't watching that NIU game. I'm done. I'm good. I have gotten all the juice out of that. You can watch that Ohio State game and just, okay, we just got to be a little faster here. We got to get a little bigger in this area. Because that's the what we believe as the going rate, the lead horse. You trying to match that. So Marcus Freeman, man, I love the fact that he's a former player, but not an older player. He ain't out of the YN Big Unk stage yet. You know what I mean? He ain't crossed over to the old man stage. He's still in the YN Big Bro. He's still floating around, so he can understand and still connect. You Lincoln Riley's fading a little bit. Your Dan Lanny's fading a little bit.
He's definitely not YN. He's definitely not he's not Unk territory.
Not Unk territory.
You know what I'm saying? And Marcus Freeman knows how to get fitted suits. He knows how to get the sport coat.
Yeah, he knows how to look.
Yeah,
and then
he's not like Uncle Shay with the too tight sport coats. You know what I'm saying? Marcus
Freeman's fly.
That's why the word says when you find a wife, you find a good thing and obtain favor. See, that's what Shannon is missing.
That's what
Shannon is missing. That's why he's in the trouble he's in right now. You know
that's what Shannon.
So as I mentioned before, he spent considerable time talking to Nick Sirianni, and he talked about that. He said, I don't want to name drop, but I talked to Nick Sirianni a while.
See, only Notre Dame can do that. We can call up. Who just won the Super Bowl? Let's call them up. Yeah. Let's call them up. Let's go do a visit. Like, we don't just do regular stuff. We could have called his old good pal that he grew up with, the coach with. No. We're going to Super Bowl chamber, and he's gonna sit down. He's going to sit down with me. I'm not just going to his office and stopping by. No. We're gonna set this up real professional. Notre Dame's walking in the building. Let's get a meeting. Marcus Freeman gonna hit that, and then he's gonna go to the Wall Street, ring the bell. He's gonna get that kicked off.
He's done that already.
He'll go to the White House, talk to Donald Trump for a little bit, and then hit the Knicks game front row. I mean, the man, hey.
He's already thrown out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium. I mean, MetLife. Wherever the Mets play. He's done it all.
Be doing stuff. Yeah, he just be doing.
Like, New York literally has a Notre Dame week, bro. Every August, or every July. I'm sorry, it's crazy.
And then he go out there and kick off a movie script. He just be doing it, man.
He said, I talked to some other guys in the NFL, just talking about how do we enhance our game management? How do we practice better? How do we use analytics better? How do we evaluate roster in terms of financial reasons? All of those different things. What's my opinion on the changing landscape of college football? And to gather an opinion on that, I want to hear other people's opinion. I want to hear some wisdom, the playoffs, that kind of thing. That's kind of been my personal challenge this offseason, and perhaps going from flattening his learning curve to getting ahead of the curve. That's where Marcus Freeman wants to be. Look, man, Notre Dame fans, your head coach is out here going for it, man. He's going for it. He's not settling one bit. He's chasing every bit of information that he can go get to bring back to formulate and build the culture. He's right. And he went to a team and specifically mentioned a head coach that is the leader of one of the greatest cultures, not just in the locker room or in the coaching fraternity that exists in Philadelphia, but the executives in Philadelphia for 2 decades have been Lurie and all those dude. His underbosses, they have been recognized as elite, along with the Steelers, along with the Chiefs. Those are the type of programs.
The Jaguars.
Lucky Podcast.
What do you mean? What are you talking
about? Podcast. We got a GTB question from Orion, man. Oh, Remick, thank you for the GTB question. I don't know how Lefty.
You get Chris Ash from Jacksonville. Yeah. All right, whatever.
They are exactly their name. That's all they do is jag.
we got number
GTB
2
question. GTB from my guy Remick. We as a collective need to contact Marcus Freeman and explain to him it's time to remix the run out music. First 40 seconds, tunnel play, Jack O'Connell, Rocky Road to Dublin, mix it to shipping off to Boston.
I thought you plans.
You're asking a lot for Notre Dame to approve. Yeah, that's bigger than Marcus Freeman. You're asking a lot, boy.
Look, we done got the jumbotron.
right.
Sure. Just slow your roll, man. You know, we got an inch.
One prayer request at a time.
Oh yeah.
One.
You get to ask what? Well, look, we just got drinking now. We just don't put drinking in. That's a big in the stadium.
So man,
the only thing we missing is we're gonna start putting up them Frankie hot wings. Billboards and stickers and
nah, I don't think they'll ever do billboards and stickers around the stadium.
Oh no, look,
I can't see it. I can't see it, man. I can't see it. Now, if they had guest DJs during halftime,
that's the next. See,
like DJ Mustard doing the set, because they had a DJ during the playoff game against Indiana. That they should continue that. Have like DJ
you don't bring out Sexy Red or nothing. You know, we ain't gonna do nothing.
Man, you know darn well Sexy Red will never ever see the light of day.
She went to Penn State.
Once again, Sexy Red would never see the light of day at Notre Dame.
At least it gotta be like the Steelers and get Glorilla. Glorilla gotta come up there. You know, she a big fan.
The Pittsburgh Steelers allowed her in the building.
Yeah, I mean, she was on the field, everything.
Yeah, Glow. I don't know. Maybe left, maybe. So Marcus Freeman reaching out to the NFL, trying to bring that great NFL culture from great NFL organizations and to blend it and mix it with what he's already established at Notre Dame. I got Gino said absolutely. He said absolutely no. No red, dude. No Sexy Red, dude.
You know, Notre Dame's trying to get more hip. I like the attempt to get more hip, more modernized. They just do it in their own way. You know, we're not chasing trends. It's all kind of cool.
You know? Yeah, Marcus Freeman. He was on with Greg McElroy talking about rivalries. This is what he had to say.
extension of USC and the Notre Dame rivalry and the importance of that game as a guy that played college football and a guy that's now coached at the highest level. How important are rivalry games to you, and what do you think we should do to maintain some of the traditions that we've had for a long time?
Man, I think back over my football career, even in high school, played for Huber Heights, Wayne, and we played this team called the Centerville Elks, home of A.J. Hawk and Kirk Herbstreit, and that was the greatest rivalry there was. Rivalries are such a great part of sports. You think of the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's what makes this thing special. Throw the records out of the window. It's like this game means everything. And so I'm a huge proponent of rivalries. The Notre Dame USC rivalry is one of the greatest. I remember before I got here, memories of that game. We got to find ways to continuously save some of those college football rivalries. I'm a huge proponent of Notre Dame and USC continuously playing each other. That's a game that, as the head coach, you want to play. Hope we can get this rivalry renewed.
Always College Football, Greg McElroy hosting Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman letting you know what it is. He said it nicely, too. He said it nicely. He talked about it with the Notre Dame media today, and pretty much was like, I'll play him whenever, wherever. He said, we can play him first game of the year. We can play him in the middle of the season. We can play him at the end of the year. Just show up. Show up. Wherever you want to show up. That's when he got greasy with the Notre Dame national media. He was nice about it. Talking to the Notre Dame media, he got real greasy with it. Like, dude,
He's talking to his boys.
Yeah, he was talking to he was talking directly to Lincoln Riley. Like, all this stuff about win, stop that, dude. Just play the game. Play the game. That's who he was talking to. He was talking to Lincoln Riley. You in the media, you talking to the media, talking about you got conference games and you got a tough conference schedule and it's hard with going to the conference championship and having Notre Dame at the end of the year, and we would much rather have them in the middle of the season. Why can't they come out here in the middle of the season? Marcus Freeman's like, dude, you giving excuses. You're giving excuses. Lace them up and kick the ball.
You got big bad Chad Bowen.
Man, Chad.
Big bad Chad can't recruit and be ready to play. What are we talking about?
I'm not even gonna mess with Chad on this subject. That's Lincoln Riley. And Marcus Freeman pretty much told him today, whenever you want us the first game of the year, schedule it. You want us the middle of the year, put it on the schedule. Doesn't make us a difference.
Same outcome.
You can take this whooping wherever. It's going in the left column. That's left column. That's where it's going. So, look, man, Marcus Freeman is checking all the boxes this offseason, left. He flat out is checking all of the boxes this offseason, and I absolutely love it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Before we get out of here, truncated show tonight. Have some plans with the missus I have to get to, left. Have to get to.
Real. That's real. That's real.
Joe Klatt, who I normally think is well thought, very much, he's thought-provoking and does a great job.
Some good takes. I think he does a good job.
Yo, his recent podcast on why the 14-team playoff is better than the 16-team, I agree, because it's the perfect medium between fairness and trying to give the Big Ten, SEC, what they feel they deserve as the bullies on the block and having the leverage. If you want 4 spots for each conference, fine. Take the 4 spots. Give the ACC 2. Give the Big 12 2. However, when you go to 16, now you're getting greedy. Because now you're trying to sneak those teams from the SEC and Big Ten that are undeserving in the back door the same way you tried to sneak South Carolina and Alabama in the back door. You're trying to give yourself the same opportunity by going to 16. At least with 14, you keep the relevancy of the regular season and the championship game. Going to 16, come on, man. Really? What are we doing? And his concept is he wants to keep the committee as far away from the playoffs as possible, meaning everybody earns it. So if you get a chance to listen to his podcast, his most recent podcast, check it out because he gives great points on why 14 is the perfect number to keep everything as close to as what it is in college football. And 14 teams and that model is what the NFL does already.
Yes.
So he's like, dude, you're basically establishing the NFL playoffs with 2 byes. He said the NFL has shown it's already successful, and wild card weekend is the most exciting weekend in the playoffs. He's like, you can have the same thing and keep the home games in the playoffs all the way through the quarterfinals. All the way through the quarterfinals, have teams playing on campus. Yo, he put forth a great argument, but this is where he lost me because it's about 30 minutes, and around the 27th minute, he lost me. Because he came up with this foolishness. And I said, come on, man. You just ruined an entire podcast that was fabulous.
That was fabulous.
With this foolishness right here.
Didn't sit well with me. Just this idea that Notre Dame can just play their regular season and then not have to play on championship game weekend. Not have to play a play-in game. Everybody else is playing. Everybody else that would get these spots would be earning their way in an access-based model, except for Notre Dame. Well, that didn't sit well with me. And I was like, well, what could we do there? And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, got it. Notre Dame would play if they were in the top 14 in the country, right? So they would have to qualify for play-in weekend. And if they were, they would have to play that weekend too. Guess who they would play? The highest ranked remaining team that is not playing in their conference play-in weekend, which is, from last year, Ole Miss. So all of those games we'd be giving you in the first week of December, and Ole Miss would have a chance. And that could be from any conference. The highest remaining team that is not playing in their play-in weekend in their conference would go play Notre Dame. And now Notre Dame's having to earn in an access-based model their at-large spot. So you don't even have to call it the Notre Dame at-large spot. It's just like, that's a play-in game. I think that would be a tremendous value add for college football to see another game in South Bend or wherever the highest ranked team would be at that point. We would be having meaningful games the entire month of November. I do not need a safety net. I do not need the greed and the training wheels of the 3 at-large spots. So we don't need a 16-team playoff.
I agree. I absolutely agree. You don't need 16 teams. You don't. Heck, you don't need 14. You just got the SEC whining because it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to turn out. You don't need 14 teams. You don't need 16 teams. It's just irritable at this point. Joe Quack, college football, SEC fans, Georgia fans, Michigan fans, Ohio State fans, Big Ten fans, Penn State fans, get over it, yo. Get over it. Your brand isn't as big. Your pockets aren't as deep as Notre Dame, and you don't have the connections globally and internationally and nationally that Notre Dame has. It is what it is. They built the perfect franchise to insulate them from everybody else and what they had to do. This, last I checked, ladies and gents, this is America. And I can't say all of us feel this way, but I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of people would much rather work, sweat, and bleed for themselves and their own company than to go out and do that and miss time with family and miss out on life doing it to make millions for others. So don't get mad because Notre Dame does it for themselves in a country that is built around being able to come here and build something for yourself. Notre Dame doesn't have to join your conference. They don't need your conference to flourish. And it's not about equality. Stop lying. It's not fair that Notre Dame doesn't have to play on conference championship weekend. I don't want to hear that. Your displeasure with your failure opened the door for Notre Dame to become now a qualifier for a bye. Your failure, your team's failure. Notre Dame accepted not being able to get a bye, not being able to get a top 4 seed. They accepted that for not being in a conference. And now because you guys want to change the methodology and the process of the playoff to assure or ensure that 2024 doesn't happen again with the SEC on the outside, except for the adopted son that is the Texas Longhorns representing you, you didn't like that. And you're trying to, that's why you couldn't wait to 2026. You had to bully your way into changing it for 2025. You were embarrassed, Greg Sankey. You were embarrassed that it was a Big Ten team in Notre Dame on that field. You were embarrassed. So stand in it. Own it. Don't bring that stuff. Don't tell all of your media and all. Fairness. It's not fair. What we saw on January 20th is not fair. See, we're not like Penn State. We didn't get SMU at the crib. We didn't get Boise State. We smacked Indiana. We smacked Georgia. We smacked Penn State. And then we came up short against Ohio State. Tell me a team that had a rougher road besides Ohio State. The two toughest roads in the playoffs made it to the championship game. You know why? Because it's about the teams and what takes place on the field. I don't care how you try to stack the deck. It's still going to come down to the teams and what takes place in between the sidelines in those end zones. That's what it's all about. So miss me, Joe Clapp. Miss me with that fairness. Notre Dame doesn't have to play their way into anything. Notre Dame has played along with the rules that the Big Ten and SEC have laid down. They've played with them. They've taken it. And they now have the mixture of administration, head coach, coaching staff, and players that can get the job done with the limitations. So stop lying to yourself, talking about fairness, because there's nothing about college football right now, including the college football playoff, that symbolizes fairness. Nothing. You're just mad that you have to share your money. Georgia, you're mad that you have to share your money with Clark Lee and Vanderbilt. You're mad. You're mad that you have to share your money with Stoops and Kentucky, programs that are subpar. You're mad that you have to share your money with Sam Pittman and the Arkansas Razorbacks, who, by the way, they come to South Bend. We get to scrape them too this year.
Yeah, we're going to put them up. Put them up there.
Yeah. Ohio State, go cut that check to Rutgers for making it to the national championship game. Give them that piece of the pie. Send that check down to Champaign. We appreciate it. It's helping us with the recruiting.
That's right.
It won't be long left before the top tier teams in these conferences get greedy and start to renegotiate within the conference deals a bigger piece of the pie. It's coming because it's not about fairness. It's about greed. And it's always been about greed. Super chat, Pilney, thank you. CMF has the juice and the coaches in place and the players are responding. Field 25 will be special. I'm sorry. Pilney says, let's get the first title. The CMF monument will go at what exit? Probably right by Lou Holtz. Probably right by Lou Holtz.
Be real fitting.
Yeah, I just had Joe Platt. Man, stop. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Why are you trying to use, once again, see, you can't, sweet and bitter water can't come out of your mouth. You can't say you want the playoffs to be about access and teams not being able to backdoor to get in, but then give Ole Miss, who hasn't earned the right to have access, to use Notre Dame as access to the playoff. Man, miss me with that. Miss me. It's the same thing. It's absolutely the same thing. You just literally contradicted yourself. You spent 27 minutes going down the right road, and then in 3 minutes just contradicted everything you said by saying, yeah, the version that I'm talking about, Notre Dame would have to play Ole Miss to see who gets in. Ole Miss didn't deserve to get in based upon the criteria set by the SEC.
Yeah,
They
basically.
have their criteria. The Big Ten, they have their criteria. Notre Dame has its criteria. Get over it. Get over it. And stop using the word fairness, because it doesn't exist.
Doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't. When Georgia and Alabama, the week before Auburn and the week after LSU, stopped scheduling bum teams that they beat by 60, then talk to me about fairness.
That's right.
Talk to me about fairness then.
That's right.
Until then,
I don't want to hear it.
it is what it is. Lucky Lefty Podcast. For Left, SD2 Mics. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another edition of the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy Knicks Game 5. No, is this Game 5? Knicks.
Yeah, start in a minute, right? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Enjoy it. But make sure you spin it different.